Thesis on Chivalry. Favonia's Bladework Fundamentals. So much to learn before the exam. How will I ever get through everything? Oh, Honorary Knight! Long time no see. Anything you need me to take care of? I don't? I'm sorry to make you worry on my account. I've been busy preparing for my exam. Other than for work and training, I've barely left the library. The exam is drawing nearer and nearer, but there just seems to be an endless amount of material to review. Right. The Knights of Favonia's selection exam. Oh. Even though I've already worked for the Knights as a maid for some time, I still need to pass this exam to officially become a knight. It's just that I've failed several times in the past. I still don't know if I can make it this time. Study buddy? No, that won't be necessary. This is my exam, and I'm taking it to fulfill my dream. Any obstacles I face are mine to overcome. Plus, there is still some time to go before the exam arrives. Well, you're the honorary knight of Mondstadt. It won't do for me to take up so much of your time. But on the day of the exam, if you happen to be free... Based on the knight's schedule, I think it should be half a year from now. But it's just half a year. Don't you think that's quite soon? Even though there is still some time, if I don't make good use of it, it will disappear. I've planned my schedule carefully. If I sleep 2 hours less each day and finish my work 1 hour earlier, then as long as I spend all the time I save studying, I should just about be able to finish these books. Well, there's always coffee if I feel sleepy, and I have some candy on hand just in case I ever feel low on energy. No, it won't. I've made sure to allocate time for training, too. After all, combat is also assessed as part of the examination. Did I get too worked up all of a sudden? My vision seems a bit blurry. No, I still have training tomorrow. I must freshen up. I apologize for letting you see me in such bad shape. I'm okay now. But every time I think of the exam, I get so nervous. Only studying or training helps to relieve it a little. But in the end, I keep finding new ways in which I'm not prepared. And that makes me even more nervous. You mean a change of location? Yes, staying in the Knight's headquarters and in the library all the time does tend to make me feel as if I always have to be studying. But where else could I go? The Cat's Tail? Or the Angel's Share? Or perhaps somewhere away from the city? Starsnatch Cliff or Windrise? I could even make some muffins, grab some napkins, and make a picnic out of it. But would that just waste too much time? A trip? To Liyue? Oh, I couldn't possibly justify that. In the time it would take to get to Liyue and back, I could have finished several of my books. You really think I shouldn't limit myself to Mondstadt? Maybe you're right. Mondstadt is symbolized by the wind, but my vision is a Geo one. Maybe visiting the nation built by the Geo Archon could help me learn something new. Very well then, if it's just a quick visit.
You know, this is starting to feel like chili pepper weather. Paimon's hungry for some fresh and fiery, spicy foods that let your taste buds have a blast. And if there's one dish that fits the bill, it's blackback perch stew. Come on, let's pay a visit to Wan Min Restaurant.
Oh, how exciting! Can you hear the Animo Archon's voice on the breeze? It calms me down whenever I get flustered.
Why do we come here? Paimon's just got a bad feeling about this. Not that Paimon's scared or anything, just, concerned for your safety. It's just that this is how lots of scary stories go. You're in an empty place, in the middle of nowhere, there's barely any light, and then just when you least expect it, a stranger comes out of... Quick, do something! Paimon's intuition says that anyone we run into here is going to be far from normal. If he gets us, he's gonna eat Paimon for sure.
Who are you? Beyond the heavens? A strange way of putting it. Don't try to scare me. I'm just here for a funeral. I don't mean to offend. No matter who you are, there's no need for any ill will between us.
Whew. Seems he's just your average scaredy cat. He looks more afraid than Paimon. Am not! Paimon's super friendly looking. Don't be afraid. We come in peace.
Gods protect me!
No! Stop freaking out and stand still. Relax.
Relax? Yes, whatever you say. Please stay your hand. Don't come any closer. I mean you no harm. Don't touch me.
Hey! Paimon already said nothing's gonna happen. Was it something Paimon said? Let's go after him. He might do something stupid.
Director! There's a ghost after me!
Oh? Don't get too excited. These are clients, not ghosts.
Exactly! We said we're not ghosts. Why won't you calm down and let us explain? Although, clients doesn't seem quite right either.
Yeah, forgive me. This is one of our new undertakers, Mung. It's his first time working a funeral, so of course he's afraid of his own shadow.
Funeral. Oh! The Wangsheng Funeral Parlor! Zhongli is a consultant there. They deal with this stuff a lot, right?
Oh, you know Zhongli? Well, that saves me a lot of explaining. I'm Hu Tao, the current director of the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor, responsible for, trifling matters having to do with immortality. A satisfying trade to be in, though, and Wangsheng Funeral Parlor is well known around town. Whatever the request, I'd be glad to hear it.
Yeah, if we were looking for Wangsheng Funeral Parlor's help, this is hardly the place we would come to.
Ah, but you see, I wasn't referring to clients in the business sense. Everyone who enters this mortal realm will be a client of mine. Sooner or later.
Well, that's dark.
Wangsheng Funeral Parlor welcomes advanced reservations. When you choose us, you'll never have to worry about what might be around the corner. But be sure to book the right date. Pro tip, it is a living nightmare trying to get flowers at short notice. Speaking of dates, if you're struggling to decide, please do come and talk it over. I'd hate to see you still alive and kicking when your big day comes.
Whoa! Slow down! That's... There's a lot to unpack here.
You'll have to excuse her. The director is a rather unique individual. Allow me to explain. We'd heard that there'd been some supernatural activity at Wuwang Hill. To restore calm here, we performed a funeral ceremony. It went very smoothly. According to the director, we shouldn't be expecting any more issues in the near future.
Wangsheng Funeral Parlor, Wuwang Hill, funeral. What more is there to say? These three belong in the same sentence.
You two, on the other hand, have no business coming to Wuwang Hill. You being here is not normal.
Maybe your understanding of normal isn't quite normal.
Adventure? You must hail from the Adventurers Guild. Then you are one of our distinguished clients. Wood, to be precise.
Wood? What do you mean?
That's just how we gauge our clients' importance. We have 4 levels: wicker, bamboo, wood, and marble. The higher the grade, the better we'd like to get to know you.
But I've just only heard of this.
Well, that's because I only just thought of it. Oh, don't look so shocked. Oh, take a look. Our adventurers spend the whole day scaling mountains, clearing domains, and smiting enemies. Danger and peril are their bread and butter. Clients like these deserve better treatment. Taking an interest in their daily lives will ultimately benefit not only them, but also me. Oh, touched a nerve, did I? I'd have thought any adventurers who dare come here would be used to conversations like this. Anyway, I have a favor to ask. Recently, Wangsheng Funeral Parlor has been trying to strike a business deal with the Adventurers Guild. With you acting as an intermediary, it would be so much easier. Let me think what I could offer you as a reward. Or perhaps there's a favor I could do in return?
Ah, we're looking for someone. We've asked a lot of people, but nobody seems to have a clue where they are.
This seems like something right up my alley. I can even inquire with the ones who no longer speak for you. You see? Helping me will be worth your while. Come on then, my able assistants. Let's get down to Liyue Harbor and do some business.
When did we become your assistants? Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. The ones who no longer speak. Oh, did she mean talking to the dead?
When the sun's out, bathe in sunlight. But when the moon's out, bathe in moonlight.
She's a weird one.
What a nice breeze. Who as in, who put me in this coffin? And Tao as in, I can't get Tout. No, not funny.
Is it just Paimon, or is there something weird about those hilly trails over there? Right. Maybe it has something to do with that sorta dark energy they're giving off. Uh-oh. This is right by the Wangshu Inn, too. Oh, the guests are in great danger. Now that we've seen it, if we don't do anything about it, Paimon will feel really guilty. Let's go take care of them.
Let me show you some fire tricks. First, fire.
Wind blade!
And then, whoosh! Fire butterfly! Be free! Oh, is it time for me to join you?
These super evil hilly trolls are more difficult to defeat than the usual kind, too. Hey! Seems like people are gathering over there. Wonder what they're doing. Whoa! See that guy in the mask? He scared off all the hilly trolls. Oh, you mean like Xiao? Now that you mention it, this guy's mask is kind of similar to the one that he wears. But the magic he was using seemed even more adeptacy than Xiao's. Shall we go say hi? Hello! Allow us to introduce ourselves. This is...
Please, if you're here to thank me, there's no need. Cleansing the world of evil is the duty of the Adepti. Think nothing of it. One certainly doesn't. Wait, who are you? One had assumed you were followers, but on closer inspection it seems that we have not met.
My name's Paimon, and this is my sidekick.
One sees. One too shall introduce oneself, for it is good manners to comply. The one before you is the Adeptus, Master of Stars, though one is better known to one's followers as Star Snatcher. One descended from one's mountain abode to cleanse the world of evil, whereupon fate saw fit that our paths should cross. Now, tell me that which you wish for.
Our wishes? Paimon thought that the Adepti and Leela were just really good in battle. You mean you can grant people's wishes too?
There are different levels of Adepti. Are not the stars loftier than the mountains, clouds, and moon? Yet, it is unbecoming of an Adepti to boast of one's powers. One would have you first speak to one's followers, and only then make your verdict.
Have you seen the Master of Stars in action? His power truly hails from the divine. I believe that now there is finally some hope for my ailing father. Watching him use his magic is all the proof you need. A true Adeptus, no doubt about it. Not long ago, I sought some medicine from him on behalf of my ailing father. The difference with Boo Boo Pharmacy's prescriptions was like night and day, I tell you. Once it was boiled and ready, it gave off this really ethereal mist. Seemed pretty adeptal to me. Could have also been because there was mistflower in it, though. Adepti medicine is surely the most potent. My father will recover soon, I just know it. Sure, you have to make some sacrifices if you seek help from an Adeptus like the Master of Stars. I had to give a few antiques as offerings. But my father's life is worth much more than a few old relics, right?
Finally, a life full of hope and purpose. Oh, are you believers too? After my fiancé had been left, I cried every day. But then I turned to the Master of Stars for help. At his suggestion, I started burning paintings of my fiancé and casting the ashes into the ocean at sunrise. I can't explain it, but it really worked. I know in my heart that he'll return. This is not some sort of positive thinking trick. I'm certain of it. I'm so overjoyed that I gave a portion of my wedding budget to the Master of Stars as an offering. After all, if not for him, I wouldn't be getting my fiancé back, in which case I wouldn't need it anyway.
The Millilith don't really need to do shifts when the Master of Stars is around, do they? I'm a merchant, and I had an especially valuable batch of goods that needed transporting recently. So I asked the Master of Stars if he would make the journey with me, as presumptuous as that was. Reason being, monsters run a mile as soon as he so much as holds up his talisman. We didn't have the slightest bit of trouble the whole journey. It didn't come cheap, of course, but then soliciting the services of an Adeptus is a monumental affair. Just look at the Rite of Dissension. So I can accept it, but I doubt that most from outside of Liyue would be willing to.
I still have some valuables at home, Star Snatcher. I can bring them tomorrow to see if they're to your liking.
Please, Star Snatcher, watch over me!
Only at ease with the Master of Stars present.
What do you think? One's adherents may exaggerate a little, but they speak from the heart. Surely you jest. There was once a senior Adeptus, Xie Wuliang, known to the people as Liangzi. He said this: all things are connected. That which mortals call imagination is merely the bridge betwixt the spiritual and the material. In other words, their wishes are already on the path of transitioning into reality. Does this make things clearer?
Nope. It makes them way more complicated. But basically what you're saying is that their wishes can come true, right?
Indeed. You are perceptive, my diminutive friend.
Okay. So we also have one other question.
Oh? You need but ask. One wanders among mortals, doing good and cleansing evil. One reveals not one's visage to avoid further disturbance to this realm than is necessary.
Ah, got it.
Now then, what are your wishes?
Now, hold on a second. What about your sister?
This is a common mortal sentiment. That you hail not from Liyue is manifest in your appearance, but one senses their materialistic influence upon you. So be it. This wish is not beyond one's power to grant. But first, one must see some proof of your faith.
What's that supposed to mean?
The way of the Adepti cannot be grasped from words alone. One must seek the profound truths that lie beyond them. Should you fail to perceive one's hidden meaning, then regrettably, one may lend you no aid.
What do we do? Paimon doesn't understand him at all. Oh, that's right! Some of those believers mentioned that they had to pay a pretty sum for the Adeptus' help, didn't they? Well, Paimon's not forking over anymore, and we don't have anything valuable enough on us. You don't even have a vision. Hey, why don't we make him a tasty snack? No one can resist the temptation of good food, can they? Yep, a tasty snack is sure to work. Why don't we head over to Wanwen Bookhouse and see if they got any new recipes in?
You need not fret. As long as you evidence your faith, your wishes will be granted.
While the monolith stands guard, evil shall never be.
It's shocking how much work there is to do, even for the three of us.
And she's been handling it alone all along. The Qixing secretary clearly isn't an ordinary person. It's so frustrating.
Huh? You're...
Aren't you Ningguang's servants? How come you're here?
We are Miss Ningguang's private secretaries, not servants.
Have you seen Miss Ganyu, Traveler? It has been several days since Ganyu left for Joyun Karst. She's the General Secretary of the Liyue Qixing. We've only taken over her responsibilities until she gets back.
Even though the Qixing have made peace with the Adepti after the latter had denounced Liyue, they still want to pay their respects to the Illuminated Ones. They commissioned Ganyu as their envoy to deliver a letter to Joyun Karst and bring the Adepti the latest news about the crisis. Still, Ganyu should have been back to her usual responsibilities by now, but she's disappeared without a trace.
Is that so? Maybe Ganyu just took a little detour. Who can blame her after working so hard?
I'm afraid it's not very likely. Ever since we met Ms. Ganyu, she's been nothing but the most conscientious person in all of Liyue. Even when it's time for her annual leave, Ms. Ganyu stays on duty at Yue High Pavilion saying there is still so much to do. She couldn't possibly be using her mission as an excuse to slack off.
Oh, Paimon sees how it is. But she's half Adeptus. She wouldn't get in trouble, right? Why do you look so upset?
It's because of this absurd workload of hers. When we first heard the three of us would be taking over for Miss Ganyu, we thought it would simply be a matter of changing our work environment.
We couldn't have imagined that Miss Ganyu's daily workload far exceeds what the three of us are used to doing.
We don't even know how long we've been working. We feel guilty for taking even a short breather like we are now.
Looks like you got a serious emergency on your hands.
Speaking of Jueyun Karst, Traveler, I've heard that you can go in and out of there as you please.
Of course! We've been there lots of times.
Ah, that's good news. Could you go to Jueyun Karst and find Miss Ganyu for us? Preferably before we collapse under this workload. We're saved. I remember Miss Ganyu said that she'd be visiting Cloud Retainer's abode. You might as well start looking for her there.
It's about time she came back to work. Otherwise...
No, perhaps we should go to Lady Ningguang first and bring up our overtime pay again.
So Ganyu left to visit Cloud Retainer. Doesn't she live in Mel Outsung? We should hurry up. Paimon hopes we can find her there.
Children, come, come. You've arrived at just the right moment. I've been looking for you.
Oh, what is it, Granny? Need any help?
Oh, no. You've done so much for Liyue Harbor already. I could hardly ask for more. In fact, my old friends and I have been putting our heads together to think of what sort of gift we might give you in return.
A gift? For Paimon?
Oh, child, you are so very modest. Uncommonly so, even. But you mustn't decline this gift. I simply won't allow it. When you traversed my old teapot in search of the cleansing bell, I heard your little friend mention that you often camp out in the wilds. That simply won't do, especially since I imagine you still have a very long journey ahead of you. Fortunately, I have not yet grown so old as to see my subspace creation abilities atrophy. Oh, did my friends never mention that to you? Well then, it is a blessing we old folks once received from Rex Lapis, part of our illumination, if you will. I will not go into too much detail, but subspace creation is the ability to create a small, autonomous pocket world. The teapot that you entered previously was a little trinket created using that ability.
So, in the eyes of an Adeptus, creating a magic teapot world is just child's play, huh?
Oh, indeed, the teapot is nothing to boast of. One such as myself must depart from this realm to create a world of one's own. Rex Lapis, on the other hand, moved mountains and seas. That is what one might call an exercise of true power. But that's enough nostalgia for now. The gift that I have prepared for you just requires a few final materials to add the finishing touch.
That's right! Finding stuff's what we're good at, after all.
Oh, settle down now, children. There's no need for you to go running hither and thither. I have already found a fleet-footed youngster to pair what I need. What's more, I doubt that you would know how to find the materials I am searching for. Some of them are very rare indeed these days. Well, for starters, I require some shimmer soil from the banks of Dihua Marsh. Back in the day, it could only be found where the glaze lilies thrived most profusely. You would have to dig downward, following the roots of the glaze lilies, and if you were lucky enough, you just might find a small patch of shimmer soil there. But almost no one has been able to find shimmer soil in this manner since Dihua Marsh came to be the way it is today. Even more difficult to find is smaragdus jadeite, which must be chiseled from the rock of the chasm. Or so it used to be. Ever since the Blackcliff Forge opened for business, they've slowly but surely stripped the mines all but completely bare of it. In any case, smaragdus jadeite is an adepti treasure, and the adeptal power within is not something that most humans can withstand. Extended contact with it is, in fact, harmful to humans. Goodness knows if that child will succeed in finding these items.
Well, since you're an Adeptus, Granny, the person you asked for help, they must be an Adeptus too, right?
Yes. I suppose she does count as an Adeptus.
She counts? How come there are so many Adepti in Liyue Harbor? We seem to bump into them all the time. It feels like even when you go out to eat, you could be sitting next to an Adeptus and never even know it.
Oh, maybe so. Who can say? A fair few of my old friends are rather fond of mundane mortal life, after all.
I'm back, Granny. Oh, I don't believe we've met.
Allow me to do the honors. This child here is Yen Fei. She's the one helping run some errands for me. Yen Fei, I believe you already heard of the traveler and his traveling companion.
Of course, who hasn't? Much has been written about you in the Millilith's records. You became one of Liyue's most wanted after the Millilith marked you as a suspect following the incident at the Rite of Dissension. After which, you fought off the Millilith at Julian Karst and made contact with the Fatui. Before finally defeating an ancient god together with Granny and her associates, and subsequently being cleared of any and all suspicion by the Qixing. What a shame. A shame that we didn't meet sooner. If we had, well, I can't say that I would have been able to clear you of suspicion immediately, but it certainly would have been less, embarrassing for you. Allow me to introduce myself once more. I'm Yenfei, a legal advisor. Got a legal problem? You can come right to me. Oh, yes, here's my business card. You'll find it has my contact details and office address. Keep it handy. If you have an urgent issue, just leave me a note at this address. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, I offer a very generous discount for first-time customers.
All right, Yenfei, all right. Let's get to the business at hand. I do not think these two are in any dire need of legal assistance at the moment. You'll have to excuse Yenfei. She's always been like this, ever the talkative one when it comes to her own affairs.
Paimon was gonna ask the same question. You seem really different from the ones we've met before.
An Adeptus? I guess. Kinda. My old man said he was one anyway. He mentioned that he once campaigned with Rex Lapis for a long old time, and then after that was all over, he went back and married my mom. They had me, and once I was all grown up, the two of them upped and left on a journey, leaving me with Granny here.
Well, that's a bit casual for an Adeptus. Aren't you guys supposed to sign solemn contracts to protect Liyue Harbor and all that stuff? What do you mean he just went back to get married?
Well, my dad did say that he'd talked it through with Rex Lapis and that he was fine with it. Even contributed towards the wedding gift, apparently. Anyway, let's not dwell on that too much. So, Granny, I've gotten a hold of most of the stuff you asked for, except for Smaragdus Jadeite. I couldn't find any at all. The chasm's been sealed off, and there's just no way in. Couldn't secure any documentation either. Looks like the Ministry of Civil Affairs is serious about keeping it strictly locked down.
Is that so? But Smaragdus Jadeite is really rather essential. Yenfei, are you sure you can't find some other way? They have helped Liyue greatly, after all. It is only right that they are duly rewarded.
I know, Granny, you've told me 1,000 times already. Well, the chasm's definitely a no-go, but there's still a chance we can figure out some alternative means of procurement. Hold on a moment. Let me have a look.
Whoa, that's a really thick book. What kind of things do you write in there?
Commercial consultancy. Or Snezhnaya. Ah, found him. Krusell. A Snezhnayan merchant who once came to me with some legal queries on certain articles in the legal codices. If my memory serves, all of them had to do with rare ores. He mentioned that he was considering acquiring some Smaragdus Jadeite to make hairpins, and wanted to know if there were any legal ramifications that he should be aware of. Said he was planning to sell them in Snezhnaya. So, I guess I'll go look for him. With any luck, he'll have gotten his hands on some Smaragdus Jadeite, or might have an idea of where we can find some. Oh, you want to join me? I suppose that's no problem, but it's best if you just stand by and watch. If you try to get involved, you'll only risk placing yourself in legal jeopardy.
Wow, an Adeptus imploring us to avoid incurring legal liability. Well, that's a first for sure. Best we be a little more careful than usual while we're with her.
Some people find Yenfei to be rather demanding. Do try to be gracious with her.